What's poppin', YouTube? It's Josh, your host here at Pop Lab Studio. Just taking a stroll through the day, what I like to do, seeing what there is out here in nature, on top of just everything else in life. I just wanted to let you guys know, like, where I was in my journey, what made me come here, what made me want to start doing all this. Just the 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 YouTube, watching videos, the just having the freedom to do what I want, the creativity to do what I want in a video, to be able to be interested in all different kinds of things and not feel weird or out of place because no one else I know is interested in it. That's where YouTube comes in. You can actually look up pretty much anything you want, and you can actually find any question that you need an answer to. But my journey started because I felt like I wanted something to do. I wanted something to show the world that just I don't even know how to explain it. But the whole process started, and I wanted to go through all this, my cancer journey. So I am a recovering remission cancer patient. It started a little over a year ago. I was going to bed. I told my wife that my stomach hurt. My stomach hurt really bad. And, just chalked it up as, hey, maybe you just have gas. Maybe you ate something bad. Maybe you just have a tummy ache from, for stress for no reason whatsoever. So I went to bed. Tried to go to bed. Pain persisted all night long. And then I woke up the next morning and I said, hey, I got to go to the doctor. My wife said, let's go, because you never go to the doctor. You're never one of those people. And she knew it was serious. We get there and they run all kinds of tests and scans and figure out what's going on. And they're like, it's the same size as your appendix. And let's see what's going on and how we can help you and how we can fix this. And okay, get in there. Doctor comes in. Well, you ready to have your appendix out? Okay, if that's what I have to, if it has to be done, that's what we're gonna do. He's like, all right, let's take a look at this. He comes back a couple hours later. He says, yeah, it's not your appendix. Not your appendix, then what is it? We don't know what it is, but there's a spot there. So maybe you should go get that looked at. Go get it looked at. Like how? How old are you? Go get a colonoscopy. Okay. So I would have thought by that time the pain had gone away. I'm like, the pain's gone. Being your typical guy, I was like, yeah, pain's gone. I'm okay. Everything's fine. It was just bad gas or something. I ate bad pizza. Who knows? Well, luckily, I do have a wonderful, beautiful, amazing wife that instantly went and scheduled a colonoscopy. Yay me. But if it wasn't for her, the next part would have never happened. So I go in and do the colonoscopy, have the prep day ahead of time, and 1 out of 10, do not recommend. But I do highly recommend everybody go and get the colonoscopy done. So I did the prep work, went through, did the colonoscopy. I'm coming to, shaking it off, waking up. They go in, and the doctor comes in, and they said, well, hey, we went in there and we removed a couple of polyps. Everything's fine there. And there's that one cancerous growth. I said, whoa, what? Cancerous growth? What are you talking about? And he's like, oh, no one talked to you about this? I'm like, no, doc, you literally just came in. I just woke up. He's like, all right, take him and put him one room over. Go get his wife. They didn't even tell my wife. Okay. So they go get my wife, bring her into the room. And then I'm just sitting there in shock because I know what's about to come. I literally just went through it and really just like, oh, by the way, you have cancer. So they let us know that there is that cancerous growth and it's going to be sent away to the lab to go get checked to see what kind of cancer it is. And it was in my colon. And so as of right now, they as of right then, they're like, okay, so you have cancer. What's the next step? Next step is to go see a cancer doctor. Okay, go get an oncologist. Well, no, hang on, rewind. Next step is to get it removed. Go have surgery to get it removed so that we can find out what kind of cancer it is. Then you go see an oncologist. So you don't even after you find out you have cancer, you don't go see a cancer doctor yet. You go to a surgeon to get it removed. So we actually called up the guy that was the surgeon that was there in the room with me and said, oh, hey, you ready for your appendix out? And he's the same doctor that we use. He's the same surgeon that we use because they're like, do you know any surgeons? I didn't know any surgeons. It's not something I keep in my Rolodex. Like, hang on, I just need a surgeon today. So let me call this guy. No, I'm like, who was the guy that came into the room? Let's call him. So we did. So we then had the cancerous tumor along with close by lymph nodes removed for safety reasons, for testing reasons, for just to make sure everything was taken care of and removed properly, and all of it was removed. Then recover from that. To be honest, I thought like, oh, okay, well, I just found out I have cancer. They're gonna go in there and do surgery and remove it. I'm gonna recoup for a few days and I'm gonna be back to normal. Everything's gonna be fine. Yeah, wasn't like that at all. So next step, after getting the actual cancer removed and actually recovering in the hospital from the actual surgery, I still didn't know. I didn't realize that this was a major surgery. They went in there and took out 8 to 10 inches of my colon and then reconnected it. They did use something called the Da Vinci robot. It looks like Doc Ock above you as you're laying there. You can look it up on Google and anything else that you need to. And it was robotic surgery. I have 5 holes in my stomach that they had to go in with. So they removed 8 to 10 inches of my colon with that tumor. Doing so, they found out that it was actually late stage 3. It had actually grown through the colon wall, but it had not affected any nearby organs that they knew of at this time. They removed the lymph nodes. They found out that, I think they said out of the 12 they removed, and they said the doctor was very good. They said that the original doctor recommended like 6 to 8 around it, but he removed like 12 to 14, and they said of them like 5 or 6 came back, unfortunately, positive. So it had gotten into that system. And then, all right, recovery. The next step then is just trying to figure out what to do with the actual cancer diagnosis. Because I found out at that point, which a lot of people don't realize, you don't just go in there and cut out the cancer and boom, you're done, you're saved, you're healed, everything's fine. If that was true, it'd be a lot less to go through. No, now they're like, okay, so you had cancer, the mass of cancer, and it went to your lymph nodes, and it was late stage 3, means it grew through the colon wall. It didn't affect other close by items to your body, so it's not considered stage 4 yet, or stage 4 non-operable, which that means if it would have gotten into something like the pancreas or something like that they couldn't operate on. So I'm lucky in that aspect. At that point, we then have to go to an oncologist to find out what the next step is. We call the local oncologist, the local cancer facility here in my town, and it was not a good experience. I'm not naming the facility by name. I won't, because there could be others that have a good experience. There could be others that have a bad experience. It could have just been me. I get in there and we're talking, and I have an oncologist, okay, a cancer doctor. And the cancer doctor was talking about how he had just talked to somebody with a brain tumor. And then before he knew somebody that had or not knew, he had a patient that had breast cancer. And then, yeah, he does see colon cancer frequently. I'm like, so he's just an oncologist. And I'm not putting that down like just an oncologist. All right, you know a lot more than me, but they're coming to find out, being in this realm and doing this, there are those that specialize and there are those that generalize. He was a cancer generalist. Like I said, he handled brain to the breast to the colon to everything in between and even outside that scope. But at this facility, they did not allow my wife, my support person, to enter beyond the entrance/waiting room of the facility to go back further so I can be treated, so I can have information, so I can talk to them. No. They were always worried. They would pull you up to the front like, hey, Josh, come here. How you paying for today? And go in through that door, your doctor's there, go up to this floor, no one can come with you. Yeah, that happened like twice. And then my wife was like, that's it, we're not doing this. So we then found, we had a conversation about it. Hey, if we're not seeing anything that we like, if this is not positive, we don't know what the next step is, we don't know, we're going to try Moffitt, just in case anybody knows, they're like in the top 10, maybe top 5 in the country, let alone in my state of Florida, let alone in the Tampa Bay area where I live. So we said, okay, we're going to do that. My wife goes on, makes an appointment, gets me in that week. Even the people at Moffitt were like, how did you get in? Who do you know? It was just the luck of the draw. We got in, we get in, and the very first day we find out that I am assigned to the GI cancer wing floor level. That there is I have a dedicated doctor. He is literally a GI cancer doctor. That means he specializes, like I was talking about earlier, he specializes, he wasn't a generalist. And then come to find out that your file is taken in front of like the GI cancer oncologist board. They all talk about it, but then you have your one doctor. So your one doctor is your doctor, but they all talk about it. So you don't just have one person or even 2 people. Oh yeah, let's take a look at this. You have a whole group, a whole board. And Moffitt was by far the greatest thing that had happened during my cancer journey. The people were nice, they were wonderful, they were caring. My wife could go anywhere with me other than the surgery room, the operating room, the actual, like when it has to be like sterile. Other than that, she sat with me through every infusion. She went into the doctors and the nurses and talked to me, talked to them. She was there with me. If I had chemo brain going through all that, she was there. She took notes when I couldn't, and it was amazing. The next step. So coming to find out that we have the consultation, we have the appointment. They're like, all right, well, you can sign up and try all these. The good thing about Moffitt is they do have a lot of tests and trials and new medicine and stuff like that. We decided against that. We decided to just do the standard colon cancer, colorectal cancer treatment. And that was 6 months. I do have a port installed in my skin so that they could actually access blood and tap into that and put the medicine in there. So I would go in and I would get infusion for about 3 hours. And then they would send me home with a pump with additional medicine in there for the next 46 to 48 hours. And then my wife, so we didn't have to travel back to the hospital, my wife would then actually disconnect the pump. They showed her how to do that. They gave her all the instructions and had the gown on and have the film, the paper, something against my chest so that the medicine doesn't get on it. Then they would send us a box and we would put the pump back in it and then put it in the mail and send it off, and I would be good for another week and a half, roughly. And then the sickness. Cancer. Would not recommend at all, ever. Ever. The cancer wasn't bad. The surgery wasn't bad. The recovery from the surgery wasn't bad. The chemo was the worst thing. I would not recommend that to anybody. I feel for everybody. There are side effects that are just insane. For myself, I had things called first bite syndrome. So anytime I would take a first bite of something, from like waking up in the morning for breakfast, or it'd be a long time in between breakfast and lunch, or lunch and dinner, and you'd bite down and all of a sudden lockjaw. That was horrible. And then extreme sensitivity to temperature, water, food, you name it. Picking it up with my hands felt like I was trying to pick up a razor blade by its sharp edge. It was horrendous, specifically cold. I never got like the heat side of it. The heat would actually be okay with me. Swallowing, even room temperature water, was like swallowing, how did I explain it to the doctor? It was like swallowing sharp rocks. Just water, liquid, just going down to, so you're not as parched, just swallowing it. It literally felt like the molecules of water turned into multi-million sharp-sided D20 dice just going down my throat. There was the fatigue. There was the nausea, the upset stomachs. If I didn't feel like I had to throw up, I feel like I had to go out the other end. Then it got to the point where I was getting neuropathy in my fingers, in the bottom of my toes, my feet. So we pared back some of the medication. They said they like to make it last at least to the sixth treatment, so the halfway mark. And I lasted to the 8th treatment, and I couldn't do it. They pared it down on the 6th treatment. I did one on the 7th, and we come in for the 8th treatment and couldn't do it. I'm just like, so they removed 2 of the 3 chemotherapy medications that I was getting. I kept the basic, the one that they've been using since like the 1950s, and then the other one that they said most of the side effects come from was removed, and they said that it was okay. All right, so then I finished out my last treatments, and then I went on a cruise with my wife and family and friends, and it was a celebratory cruise for my wife and son's birthday, for our friend and our daughter being pregnant, and my also final treatment for cancer. I then get a call when I come back that I have to be on surveillance now. So I'm on surveillance, which means that once every quarter for the next 2 years, I have to go in and get blood work done, hence the reason why my port is still installed. And then they'll look for cancer markers. So probably it was actually the day after Christmas, 2024, that I had to actually go in and do it. I got it done. Nerve-wracking. The doctor said that this is the time where people can get depressed because they're waiting for those results. If you don't have them, great. If you do, it means that your body does have tumor markers, cancer markers, that you will get it back. When, where, why, and how, we don't know, but we've got to be on the lookout for it. So we did that. Mine came back negative. So they told me that I am officially in remission at this point, but I still have to go and do my quarterly surveillance. I still have to also go do another colonoscopy coming up soon, and then we'll go from there. But all of that, anybody going through that, keep your spirits up. Don't let it get to you. friends and family are the most important thing. They will help you through it. They will love you. Let them. Sometimes you just have to tell them, hey, I just need a break. Sometimes you just have to tell them, hey, I need to sleep. I just need to relax and take time for yourself. That was another reason why I wanted to go through this video and say that's why I wanted to start doing YouTube. I wanted to show the world me. And not in a arrogant way, not in a, you know what, if I make $1 million, awesome, I will retire my wife. If I make nothing, awesome, I want to have fun doing it. That's my whole goal. I've been watching videos on how to make a YouTube video, what's the best YouTube video, how to get monetized, how to do that. I've learned one thing by reading through all this, watching through all of it, going through all of it. There is no set formula, and I really don't care. I just want to do this because I want to do it. If you want to come along with me for the ride, that's awesome. I want to do other things, show people what I'm interested in. That's why I chose Pop Labs Studio, because anything pop culture related, which is pretty much everything these days, labs as in laboratory, as in being able to do experiments, to try new things, to create something, to, I mean, even food is considered like, they have food labs out there. That's what that's from. And studio, because I'm in front of a camera. This is a studio. Right now I'm having a wonderful walk outside and enjoying talking to you guys. So I want to say thank you for listening to my rant and going through all this. And we'll have a wonderful, hope you have a wonderful day. Hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your family and friends, and till next time, keep popping.